It's so nice to see all of you. I have an introductory video about the structure and function of the eye. Enjoy looking at it, and right after that, you'll get a wonderful lecture and Q&A. Ophthalmology always looks at structure. So basically, we learn that if the eyeball is too long, the picture will fall ahead of the retina, and you will not be able to see the picture well. Just like if a picture falls ahead of a screen, you can't see it well. If the eyeball is too short or the lens is too stiff, the picture will fall behind the retina, just like light that concentrate behind the screen. And I don't disagree with them, except for one thing. You can change the structure of the eye. You can see better. I've proven it beyond any reasonable doubt to myself. Most of my students think exactly the same in terms of their own eyes. And I agree that to some extent, we have a situation of a long eye. And some of it is because the sclera starts to change its shape. Most of it is because the vitreous, which is so large in the eye, which is mainly fluid gel. Interesting. Only 1% of hyaluronic acid and 99% water, and still it's a gel. And that gel, according to the medical profession, doesn't change much. It just changes, just slow. And slowly, more gel is dripping in as we look at smartphone and at computers, and the eyeball becomes long. Can we change it? Absolutely. Look at the fact that there are so many nationalities, the Bedouins in the desert, the Maoris, the Tibetans in rural Tibet, that actually have great vision. The Amazon natives have great vision. Why? Because they use it differently. Who doesn't understand that using the eyes can get the eyes better? Who doesn't understand that your mind affects the structure of your eyes, that your function affects your structure, and your thought affects your function? Ophthalmologists and neurologists, they don't get it. And yet, we all know, those of you in this conference, and more people in the world, that the brain, to a great extent, can expand and shrink, can become more flexible and more rigid, can degenerate and regenerate. I'm here to show you how you can affect your mind, how you can affect your eyes in such a way that they will change completely, how you can affect your mind so you can get out of paralysis, and mainly get out of the paralyzing thought that vision cannot improve. Because indeed it can and it does. It all depends on your openness to that probability. Hey, hello everyone. I'm here, Meir Schneider, with my friend and with my staffer, Kyle Bobs, right?
Bob's.
Yeah.
And I'm here to talk to you about your body and how we can improve it. Let's start with the fact that all of us look at the computer for too long. So open your window, look out of the window and wave your hands to the side. Don't look at me, just hear me. And I'm opening my own window here. And I'm looking outside and I'm looking at this wonderful view that I have. I have better view in the other side of my school because it has the ocean. But take a look, wave your hands to the side, rest from looking near. Look at the horizons, then look a bit closer and a bit closer and back at the horizons. And now close your strong eye and just look with the weaker eye at the horizons. And then look closer and closer and closer and open both eyes. And enjoy what you're seeing. And close your eyes and visualize that you're looking, first of all, with your weaker eye at the horizons. Then you look closer with the weaker eye, with your imagination. You don't open it. And then you look even closer. And now visualize you're looking with the stronger eye at the horizons. You scan several points. And then you look closer. And then you look closer. And now you visualize you're looking with both eyes at the horizons. And then you look closer. And then you look closer. And open the eyes, wave your hands to the side, enjoy what you're seeing. To be more clear, I'll do the thing that one has to do. This is darken the room. We already have the problem for Zoom that we have a skylight here. I don't have a problem when I do my sessions and my body work. And first of all, I want to say welcome to your wonderful body. We all have potentials to improve. And I just want to talk about the fact that we need more blood circulation to our head. So many people die from strokes and heart attacks. I would say basically half of the people die from those two things. And of course, we can prevent both or postpone them by 30 or 40 years. And the one thing that I want to talk about is how do we loosen up the neck? So, I'll sit a little bit more back. I hope you hear me well. And I want you to work on several things that can get your head moving easier with the neck. So first of all, move your head to one shoulder, then move your head to another shoulder, then put your chin on your chest, then move the head back and have a sense of how much the head can move. And you can feel some stiff points, right? You can tap, and then tap, and then tap, and then move your head in rotating motion all the way. See how it feels. And breathe deeply and slowly. Now, massage your scalp. Separate between the scalp and the scalp. Sense your scalp and move it and separate between the scalp and the scalp. Do it for a while. By the way, breathing is wonderful, especially a day like today when so many people, especially here in Northern California, are basically indoors because of the rain. We can't walk in our wonderful parks and wonderful paths like we have here, the beach. So nice to be on the beach, walk in it. In the past, not very far past, I used to run in the rain just with my bathing suit in the beach. People thought that I'm homeless or something, but I wasn't. And now they got used to me. But now I'm not doing it. Still, being outside with my shorts for just a little bit felt so good. So now tell me, how does it feel to move the head in rotating motion in both directions? And my question is, do you feel that your head is a bit lighter? It's easier to move the head. So you can see that there's muscle connection between different parts. If you loosen up the tension in your scalp, then it's easier for your neck to work. And tomorrow, Kyle told me that he will bring out the message of the week, which is my interview in a wonderful radio station called WPFW from Washington, D.C. And one thing that Dr. Watkins, who interviewed me, said, he's a distinguished doctor and surgeon, is that there was a house for people with dementia, right? And all of them had Alzheimer's and they could not remember anything. So they decided to have them walk every day. So they would walk first for a block or two and then for half a mile. And after about a month, they all walked for 5 miles. And the memory came back to all of them. Interesting, isn't it? The more blood you get to your head, the better you function. Same thing is true about vision, by the way. You can go to 1,000 doctor's appointment looking at why your retina is bleeding. And actually, the problem is not enough blood flows to the retina, not enough blood flows to the eyes. And if somebody asks the question, I'm doing eye exercises, what should I do with the eye exercises? And the answer is 2 more things. Work on your mental state and work on your physical state. Make sure that more blood is flowing. So, first of all, let's do some very wild minute or two of exercises here. And this is walk forwards. It's always heel to toe, so pay attention to that. Walk backwards, toe to heel. And I'm happy that I'm in a room which is like a regular room, living room or so. So we walk back and forth this way. In our classroom, we have more space. And of course, on the beach path, on the beach itself, we have much more space. So we're doing it heel to toe, heel to toe. But of course, when it's backwards, it's opposite, toe to heel, toe to heel, toe to heel, right? And we can walk sideways and sideways. And as we do it, we can tap on our bumps. The best is to use those bunga balls. I'll have to do that. Tap on myself like this, and we can tap over the back. Same way. The good thing about bunga ball, you can tap between your shoulders. It's a great thing. You tap on your chest, and of course, you can do it with your fists, wherever you can reach. But get your circulation going for this particular session. So let's run forwards. Let's run backwards. Okay, forwards. Backwards. Forwards. Backwards. So right now, even though most of my lecture is going to be on vision improvement, as I'm celebrating the fact that we're starting a new class on vision for life. The new class of Vision for Life is based on my book, Vision for Life, which is in so many languages. That includes Spanish, of course, and that includes German, and that includes Hebrew and Portuguese and many, many other languages. But this is a must book for this next class. And while in other classes you can come in and we hope you get the book, this class you have to get the book first. It's not expensive, it's $22, you know. Read it cover to cover and know everything in it. And then we can work on getting you to see way better and to the point that you can mentor other people who want to read this book and work with the book so they can see better. Okay, so that's what's going to be in the next book. But now we're following my other book, which is much thicker, with 600 exercises, which is called Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing. It's in many places, in stores, in Amazon, and of course, in our store. 600 exercises. It's like a dictionary for all conditions of life. What you do if you're paralyzed, what you do if you're stiff, what you do if you see well and you want to see better, what you do to prevent all back problems, what you do to prevent arthritis, it's all here. So let me tell you a few things which are important. If you return to the body, getting this book down. Returning to the body. How does one get arthritis? And I'm asking that question because a third of the population has arthritis. And the answer is, when a joint starts to stiffen, you move it less than it can move. Because when you move it more than it can move, you get pain. So the idea is move it to the extent it can move. The stiffest joints that we have actually is not where we think we have them. It's actually in the middle back. That's why so many people get heart problems. The chest becomes stiff, the ribs become stiff, and the middle back becomes stiff. So what I want all of you to do is something a bit crazy. And this is, I want you to lie on your back. Yeah, tell me where they can see me. Can they see me? Here.
Yes, they can see you there.
Okay, perfect. So you can put a small pillow under your head if you want to. Lie on your back and put your legs on the wall. Okay? It's a wonderful thing. And by the way, I recommend that at least 2 or 3 minutes to everybody. You can see how stiff the legs are. So you can try and climb up the wall with your legs 1 foot after the other. And breathe slowly and deeply and feel all your parts. Feel your chest and your ribs. Feel your abdomen and your lower back. Just feel them all as you're climbing on the wall with your legs. By the way, I sometimes do it as an eye exercise. We put the legs on the wall and we do our palming exercise that we probably will do in this class. So that's a great one to start with. Okay. I don't have time to do too many exercises. That's why I have my book, and that's why we have our classes. On August, we'll have a training course for my whole method for about 12 days. But this is different. This I can only do a little bit today. So you lie on your back, nice pillow behind your head, and you roll from side to side this way. This is easy because often we don't have enough sense of our back, right? So many wonderful exercises to feel the back. And then all of a sudden, the back becomes stiff, the neck becomes stiff. When you roll from side to side, you start to have more feeling of your ribs, of different parts of your back. And your brain start to not be so stubborn and so confused in moving only in frontal plane, right? Like we're moving in sideways plane, right? So it's very nice to move from side to side to the side. That is so important. And we bend the knees very slightly. Now we get to the side and we move the shoulder in rotating motion. Again, everybody sees what I'm doing.
Yes.
We tap on the tip of the shoulder and we say shoulder tip. Say it out loud in your setting. Shoulder tip, because you focus on your shoulder tip to let go of your chest muscles, abdominal muscles, back muscles. You move the shoulder in rotating motion in both directions. Now lift the arm up and move the arm all the way in rotating motion in both directions. And breathe deeply and tap and say fingertips. Fingertips. Everybody, fingertips. Fingertips. And move the arm all the way in rotating motion in both directions. And we return to the shoulder. We move the shoulder in rotating motion, top of the tip of the shoulder, and say shoulder tip, shoulder tip, shoulder tip. And then let's move to the opposite side. And again, we tap on the shoulder and we say shoulder tip, shoulder tip, shoulder tip. And we focus on the shoulder and move the shoulder in rotating motion in both directions. I want you to all say shoulder tip, as you tap on the shoulder, let go of all the central muscles that you have and work peripherally. And now take the arm and move the whole arm in rotating motion in both directions. And breathe deeply and slowly. Deeply and slowly. And tap and say fingertips. 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 And move the arm in rotating motion in both directions. And then let's roll from side to side. All the way from side to side. And you can see how easier it is. Now let's make it even easier. And this is grab your leg and pull it backwards. Can everybody see what I'm doing? Yeah. So we pull the leg back and we feel a real stretch in the thigh, which really releases us from a big holding from sitting. And we'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. Grab the leg, stretch it back. Stretch it back. And now roll again from side to side. This is a great exercise to do on a regular basis. You just roll, easily roll, like a baby who rocks from side to side. And don't forget to breathe in and out through your nose, nice and gentle. Okay. It is time for us to move to the purpose of today. This is to talk about vision and eyesight and what needs to be done these days. And my question to you is, as you sit in front of the screen, does your neck feel looser to some extent? That's my question. I think there's no point to start and do anything with the eyes unless we work, first of all, with the body. Because again, without circulation, we will not be compliant to eye exercises. So I want you all to remember what Kyle sent to all of you, okay? He sent to you a picture of this paper, this paper, this paper, and this paper. That is so important that you do it. So as I talk, if you haven't cut those papers, you can take any paper. I prefer construction, but if you don't have construction, just detach a paper from a notebook and cut those 4 sizes for me, please, because we're going to work on our peripheral vision. So the first thing that I want to say is that I think I've explained in the book, Vision for Life, the principles of natural vision improvement. They're very important. Number 1, you never strain to see anything. You let the world come to you and you don't strain to see it. It's almost impossible these days because people's vision have deteriorated to a great extent and they strain to look at things. But we need to learn to not strain. One of the ways to know that we don't strain is if we blink rapidly and we also have a sense of the room. Because many people, you know, when you look at the computer, before you know, you forget there is a ceiling, you forget there are walls, you forget there is a floor. And throughout human history, we had to have a sense of periphery if we wanted to survive the jungle, which we did successfully, or we wouldn't be here, right? But here's the problem. Today, most people don't use the periphery that much. Reason for many car accidents, by the way. It's interesting in martial arts, they teach you to have soft eyes so you can sense if you have more than one opponent, several opponents, because if you have to look from one to the other, you're going to lose the fight. So you have to really sense so you can quickly respond to what comes your way. But truth of the matter is that lack of good periphery leads to accidents. But it leads to another thing, pressure in the eyes. In my opinion, the main reason for glaucoma these days, which really is a silent blinder of the eyes, you know, is not using our peripheral vision. So increasing our periphery is one of the most important things for our vision. And getting a soft eye that look softly at the wall is very important. So the principles include quite a few of them. For example, relaxing your eyes deeply, something that most people don't do. I will never forget. Yesterday, I got even my two apprentices to sit down and palm and relax their eyes. Even though they learn how good it is, after doing it, I felt, oh my goodness, why haven't I done it? It's such a nice thing to do, but most people think it's a waste of time. It's not. It is very important that you rest your eyes and nourish them. And then another principle, of course, is adapting to the strongest light there is. And I really recommend that many of you would read the book of Bob Hopdale, The Healing Sun. We are told that the sun can really destroy you, but the sun used to be the natural antibiotics to wounds in the past, before they invented penicillin, which is more quick and more effective. But the sun used to do that. The sun helps our immune system. The sun also helps you to constrict your pupils, which you need to do in the daytime, just like you need to expand the pupils at night. So the sun is so important to us. And it also drains fluid. I've seen that it actually reduces pressure of glaucoma, again, by 2 points each time that you do the exercise, which we call sunning. So we need to adapt to the sunlight and to the dark of the night. Two things which are very important. And in our class, we'll have a nice night walk to adapt to the dark of the night. So we have exercise for both. So we want the pupils to be wide, very important, because then your periphery becomes bigger. We want the pupils to be narrow, very important, because anyone who wore pinhole glasses, I wouldn't say anyone, but most people who wore pinhole glasses were able to see much sharper because of the fact that they would look through a tiny hole. All of you can now kind of make a fist and look somewhere. And if you look through your fist, you can see that your vision is way clearer, right? You do that. So the point is that we need to adapt to all light amplitude. And then we need to look at details. As a person, my history is that I was born with cataracts and had very unsuccessful surgery. I had surgeries that basically massacred my lens. Take a look. This is a normal lens and this is mine, right? So I had those surgeries that massacred my lens. And basically, I looked at the whole world as one object. I also didn't have any concept of vision because the surgeries were done also late, besides being wrong. My two kids were born with cataracts, and that's different. The lens was removed. So my problem was that I saw the whole world as one object, and I learned to look from area to area. But all of you used to look at fine details. But out of lack of curiosity and out of demand for you to look at many more details, you ended up not looking at details. You ended up shutting yourself off from details. So you stop looking at details, you end up seeing worse and worse. So this is why so many people have these days macular degeneration, the dry and the wet. It's a result of not looking at enough details. So our principle of learning how to look at details is very important. You can look at step number 7 in my book, Vision for Life, how my daughter, who didn't have her natural lens because she was operated when she was 2 weeks of age, by looking at details, was able to see 98% instead of 2% of vision. Can you imagine that? So that is an amazing thing. And then there's the principle of peripheral vision. On that, we're going to work soon. That is the principle of balanced use of the two eyes and several other principles. One of them is body and eye coordination. But I'll stop talking about the principle and I'm going to start to do the exercise. I gave you enough time to cut the paper. So first of all, wave your hands to the side. In fact, have a little bit less light in the room. I'm going to turn this light's off for me so I can also benefit from the exercise. And wave your hands to the side. You wave it in few ways. You wave it near your ears. You wave it near the shoulders, you stretch it and wave it, and your elbows are bent, and you wave it here, and you still look straight. So I'm looking at my kind of obscure figure because it has less light, right? But I'm looking at that, and I'm waving my hands to the side without looking at them. So be away from the screen so nothing captures your mind, and you wave and wave, you wave up and down, but in 3 or 4 different areas. When you wave very much to the side, you close one eye and you see the hand there. You close the other eye, you see the hand there. You open both eyes and you wave. Okay, so that's a good one to do. When you look at the computer, there are 2 exercises that I would recommend you do when you take a short break. One of them, let's do it all together before we move forward, is the long swing. We move from side to side. I move to the left, everything moves to the right. I move to the right, everything moves to the left. So we move from side to side and we swing from side to side. That's what we call the long swing. You can also look at your finger, and comparing to your finger, it could be that you would see that everything moves opposite in you, as it does. Because when I move to the right, the other part of the room moves to the left. When I move to the left, the other parts of the room move to the right. So I move from side to side, and I visualize as if everything moves opposite in the way I move. I move to the left, all moves to the right. I move to the right, all moves to the left. And we breathe and blink, and we move easily from side to side. Okay, so that's an important thing. Now, let's talk about what we do for the continuation of the exercise. So there are a few ways to work on my central vision. One of them, for example, I will take a page and I'm going to read, and I'm going to wave my hand to the side. So when you look at a computer, you can sometimes just wave your hand to the side, and while reading, you can wave the hand, and then you know that you unite between periphery and center. Another one, which we're just going to do as an exercise, is to block your central vision in order to develop further your peripheral vision. See, this is a good brain-eye exercise. And, more and more people write about the flexibility of the brain, but they don't have practical example of what you do. They talk about rudimentary exercises, but they're not talking about mental, physical exercises. And I really believe in connecting the two, in having connection between the brain and the body. Very important. So here I have a small piece of paper, and I make a loop out of the masking tape, and I put it, in fact, I didn't do it as central as I needed to, so I'm making it more central. I put it centrally so I can stick it to my nose and to the paper. And of course, I prefer masking tapes, but it could be any kind of tape. The best probably is a surgical tape, micropore, but you can also use Scotch tape, whichever tape you can have that you can stick to the paper and then stick on the bridge of your nose. Our goal will be to block the central vision in order to give a chance to the peripheral vision to expand. Okay, so again, I am rolling this paper. I'm putting it in the center here. And I'm doing exactly the same thing here. Center here, and then I'll put it between my eyes like that. So you have 4 pieces of paper. I'm giving you a minute or two to put the papers on, and to take a good time for a minute. Anybody has a question, you can you can unmute yourself and ask me that question. Anybody raised their hands or no?
Not yet.
Okay. No questions. All right.
Yes. I have one.
One question that came up. Oh, do we
Go
wear
ahead.
glasses while we are doing the exercises?
No. You know, I want to tell you something funny that when my most known video, which is called Yoga for Your Eyes, came out, and it was really one of the top sellers of Amazon.com, which, you know, doesn't mean much. It was the 7,600 product out of 2 million. So it was in top half of 1%. It sold 1,000 a month. One lady wrote a critique saying, how does Meir Schneider expect us to see what to do if you tell us to take our glasses off and contacts, right? That was a pretty good one. But if you can see what I'm doing, then don't use your glasses for this exercise. Any other
People
questions?
want to know how often to do the exercises.
So the periphery you have to do every day for about 5 minutes. Okay? That would make a huge difference. Okay, so let's start and do it. Put the paper between the eyes.
Does the exercise affect the pressure of the eye?
Relaxing the neck and doing sunning takes the pressure of the eye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so put the paper between your eyes, wave your hands to the side, wave your hands this way, and wave your hand this way. Again, I don't have the luxury to sit away from the computer right now, but you do. So I'm showing you the movement, so you can just turn away from the computer and wave and see your hands. And when the hands are stretching all the way, you close one eye and you see one hand, you close the other eye, see the other hand, and then you wave your hands and you come closer, okay? And you can stand up and walk this way in the room and have a sense of your periphery because you're looking straight at the paper. So you walk in the room and you have a sense of the periphery around you, yeah? That's the thing to do. Wonderful. So again, wave your hands to the side, up and down, wave your hands elbow size and this way. Right, now we'll take the medium paper. So we have small, medium, large, and extra large, right? So this is the medium. We have different colors so people don't get confused. So my medium is normally orange, right? So we wave and wave and wave, and that really blocks more of our periphery, right? And so you wave above, you wave below, you wave all the way to the side, you close one eye, then you close the other eye, and then we open both eyes and we wave. And we can stand up and walk. Now, let's take, I call it the green one, but the large one, we exchange them real quickly, so there wouldn't be a pause in between. So it's like you put the other paper in front and then you change it now. You wave your hands to the side, you wave, and then you move up and down as you do that. And that way you have two movements, the movement of your hands and the movement of the body. Now, why move? Because periphery is something that you don't look at, but you sense much more movement. So you wave your hands and you sense the movement of the periphery. And you wave all the way to the side, up and down, you wave in the middle, up and down, below, etc. So now we're going to take the very large piece of paper, pay attention, I'm putting it basically half an inch away or centimeter away and put it right here. Okay, so you wave and you wave and wave. You wave above, you wave below, you wave to the near the shoulders, you wave elbow-wise. Now rub your hands and palm. Put your hands around the eye orbits very gently with the paper right here. And you breathe deeply. And you visualize you see darkness, even blackness, for a moment that enlarges your pupils. Now open the eyes and wave again. Wave below, wave to the side, wave above. And right now, we're changing it back to the large one, from the extra large to the large. And we wave and wave and wave up and down, wave this way. And it helps us to open our brain to our periphery. That's a big deal. And then we will take the orange one a centimeter away, and we do that. And we wave and wave and wave. And then we'll take the small one. And the only question I want to ask you all, does the small one feel smaller? Yes, no? No response, huh?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
So we take it out, and now we have better periphery. This is such a simple thing to do. Thank you. Such a simple thing to do, to take those 4 pieces of paper that allow me to expand my periphery, and that relieves my central vision. Of course, the exercise for the central vision, the exercises for balancing use of the eyes. But so many of us are suffering from the fact that we strain so much forward and don't have enough periphery. So it's very important for me that you would know that your potential is great and it's within reach. Your potential is within reach. You can definitely improve your vision. And that's why I'm offering my class, Vision for Life. I mean, I shouldn't have called it coach, coach and mentor, although you do become potentially a coach and a mentor, you even get a certificate from us. But the main thing is, it's vision for life. You learn to improve your vision in intensive time that we do. I expect more than 90% of the people who come to my class to see way better when they finish the class. I've seen it again and again, except this class is more intensive. It's a bit short. It's Thursday through Monday, so you don't have to lose too many work days, but it's short and intensive, and it can make a huge difference for your vision. And out of enthusiasm, especially in a world where people don't believe vision can improve, you can go and improve other people's vision. Help them to follow the same path and the same direction. So we did a simple exercises of improving somewhat our circulation, sensing our body a little bit more, and increasing our ability to expand our periphery. So anyone has a question right now? And
Yeah.
I'll answer questions, and then we'll do some palming. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to know, I mean, number one, it's like I had no idea what this really is gonna be about. So I will have to do those exercises. The first question would be like, what you showed us with the paper from small all the way to large and then reversing is that gonna be one cycle?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then my next
Yeah, because
question.
you block your periphery, block it more, and extend your periphery, and then you return to blocking it less and less and less. That's a very good exercise. Yeah.
Right. And so after you completed one cycle, should you do it more than once, like 2-3 times a day, or?
There's no reason why not.
Okay.
There's the
Okay.
minimum and there's the optimum.
Okay. Then the other thing is like, so since I'm wearing glasses right now, it's like, will my glasses interfere? Like if I make the exercises, if I do the exercises and then afterwards use my glasses again, it's like, is that?
Well, definitely they will slow down your progress. Most people who work with me put the glasses in their pocket and put them on when they need them. The best example I have is that one lady put pair of glasses near her computer and the other pair of glasses in her car dashboard.
Uh-huh.
And she had 18 diopters, very, very big correction for hypermetropia. She, in fact, did exercise before she came to my classes, and then she did exercise afterwards. Within 3 years, she did not need any more the glasses in her dashboard. And within 5 years, she did not need the glasses near her computer. And she improved the diopters from 18 to 2. Okay. So you wear glasses, and then if you work intensively with my work, let's say you took my class in April and had 25-30% improvement right after the class, then you go to a good optician or optometrist and reduce your prescription by 20%. Like instead of having 100% vision, you have 80% vision, and you work with those glasses because they allow you to drive, and except, you know, in a foggy day, you'll take the full prescription. But normally you will drive in the daytime with those glasses. You will do shopping with those glasses. And again, much of the time, put it in your pocket and put them on when you need to read sign. Okay. Or we have also pinhole glasses. You can look through and read those signs. Kyle, maybe you can bring me pinhole glasses. Pinholes.
I have those pinhole glasses. Yeah,
Right.
all black with lots of holes in them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so then what happens is normally within 2 to 3 months of wearing those glasses that have 80% correction, you get 95 to 100% correction with those, and then you reduce it again until you have great reduction or no need of glasses. And hopefully, you know, the only time you need very weak glasses is when you sit far in a concert or something, but normally
Yeah.
you need them. So it's a gradual process. What's not gradual is the intensity of working on the eyes. Because you know what I wish for you, that in your older age, your only eye problem will be to drive your good girlfriends to the ophthalmologist's office.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Another question?
Looks like
Yes,
Emily.
hello. May I?
On the screen? Yeah, good.
Yes, hi, my name is Emily. I've developed several eyes issues while working in e-learning, developing e-learning courses, focusing all day on small characters. So my myopia increased, binocular vision. So I'm
You have light
working on my
sensitivity?
divergence. Pardon me?
You have light sensitivity?
Yes, and I have every time I look at a screen or neons, it causes me pain in my eyes and increased dryness feeling. So my top meibomian glands are dead, 35%. Atrophy are dead. So I have dry eye. I don't know if you have some exercises that can help for dry eye.
Yeah.
I don't know
What helps dry eyes is loosening the middle back. If you loosen the middle back, much more blood comes to the head, including the meibomian glands, and it can help restore them. I found out that whenever I exercise in the dark and move my middle back in rotating motion, I get many more tears. And of course, we need to have individual sessions in a case like yours. I would still very much recommend my class to create binocular vision, to reduce your light sensitivity. We have wonderful exercises of light and darkness. We have glowing balls in the dark that we throw to each other, and we then go and do sunning in the light as we make your pupils firmer, stronger to constrict, and more expanded. The light sensitivity goes away. I had somebody who couldn't look at a computer and his eyes were red from overworking, and we had a night walk with him with those 4 pieces of paper. We waved the hand to the side, we did a long swing, we did many exercises at night. Next day, his eyes were not red, and he really felt best after that. So there's a lot we can do, actually, in your case, and there's actually nothing that the medical profession can do for you.
There's nothing, sorry, can you repeat the last sentence?
That the medical profession can do for you right now.
Oh,
I mean, you can wear the dark glasses that you have and protect yourself from light, but you can't adjust to it. That's what I would work with you on.
I see. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Next question.
Meir, this is May. My question is, have you heard of the using infrared light therapy for the eyes to help the eyes improve?
I did. I don't know much about it. I'm sure it's good for some people, but I don't know anything about it. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Brandon?
okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Have you heard of lately the zebrafish. The zebrafish is a freshwater fish. It's a minnow, 1.5 inches, and it's from Southeast Asia. And they recognized it as a fish that when the retina cells deteriorate, they can reproduce. That's a zebrafish.
That's so interesting. I
It's
know,
very interesting.
I know that with exercises, we rebuild retinas. That's for sure. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question. My name
Hi.
is Ildiko, and I was
What's your
told
name? Put it on the screen.
Ildiko.
Ildiko.
Yes, and I live in Australia, so I'm a long way away. So I was going to ask you, I was told that I might need to put a hole in my retina to allow the pressure or the tears to come out.
In your retina to
Yeah,
get
and I think it is, or the pupil, in the pupil, sorry.
the pupil, not in the retina. No, not in the retina. Please
Okay,
don't put a hole in your retina. Do me a
No.
favor.
okay, yeah.
So what's your problem? You don't have tears?
Well, apparently I don't have tears, so there's pressure there, and the eyes are stressed. So
Yeah, so they could sometimes they put pressure more on the gland itself, not inside the eye, but on the gland near the eye or under the pupil, under the eyelid, sorry, not in the pupil. Sometimes it's necessary, but I think that you should give eye exercises and physical exercises a try first.
okay,
Do a lot of blinking and do exercises, and only if it fails, then the surgery could be necessary, because you do want to have tears. Tears are very important for the cornea, but please don't let anyone put anything in your pupil or anything in your retina. Do me a favor, okay?
all right. Thank you so
Go to the
much.
people who
Thank
have their
you.
hands up, and then I'll read.
Could
the
I ask a
questions in the chat,
question?
And then people can just chime in. So iPhone, your questions.
Could I ask a question?
That's you.
I'm Mariana. I don't see my name though.
Please.
But my question is, how do I can't see in one eye. That's why I can't see very well in the other eye. I have a small cataract, but in the other eye, my right eye, I have such a large cataract, or it's so dense that I can only see light and dark. And I won't have the surgery done because I find the doctors here, I'm in Canada, in West Vancouver. I find the doctors incompetent and uncaring. All they're after is money. They usually have 20 people waiting in one waiting room for the same time. And what I'm wondering is there hope for someone like me to improve my eyesight? And my eyes got so bad because the optometrist and ophthalmologist didn't let me know there was such a problem. They just kept prescribing stronger and stronger lenses. So I kept buying more and more glasses. And one time the glasses were so thick, I complained, but they still didn't do anything. And I've been taking AOR ortho eyes because I've read that stuff in there kills cataracts, but I'm not having much improvement in 2 years. And because I'm in Canada, I can't get to the States right now. So I'm just
How old are you?
wondering what
How
I
old are
could do. Pardon?
How old are you?
I'm just 70,
7.
but I've
Okay,
kept
so what
fit all my.
you look nice and pretty and young, but let's talk about something.
Well, the thing is, I studied music for decades. I'm a book reader, studied music. So I read small print all the time, small notes, because I played oboe half my life. And I think, and I didn't know anything about vision, and no doctors, nobody ever
So
told me.
let me give you my answer.
Yeah, thank you.
For the right eye that has a little bit of cataract, you
So
need
the right
to
eye has a bad cataract.
okay, the left eye has a little bit cataract.
Yeah.
Looking at the distance every day for half an hour, 40 minutes will make a difference. So 10 minutes at a time. In terms of being afraid of the doctors, you need to show up for a good doctor. I understand exactly how you feel about it. It's hard to find them in the general care. but I would recommend that you would remove the cataract in your right eye because it's going to give you 20/20 vision. And we can work on preventing removing the cataract in the left eye, and we can work on getting the two eyes to work together. But the way you are now, you're preventing yourself from having the best vision you can have. And so
Yeah.
my recommendation, do the surgery. I agree with you about the way they treat people. Sometimes they treat them like anonymous or unimportant, but you are important. You have to find a doctor that will feel that you're important and trust that doctor and do it with the doctor. But please do the surgery. And before that, do a lot of eye exercise. Okay.
Okay. But also, thank you for that. But also the question is, I've run into so many people who've had the eye cataract surgery, and a year later they have a torn retina. And the other lady I met, she had her what was it? Her cornea was separating from her eye. And then another lady, she had to have laser surgery to take all the scar tissue off. She couldn't see.
Absolutely. Doctors are giving you too rosy of a picture of cataract surgeries. That's why I'm saying in the left eye, don't touch.
Yeah.
But in the right eye, because of the loss of vision, remove the lens, put a lens instead, but start with eye exercises. And if
Okay.
you travel to San Francisco, come here. Let's have a nice 5 or 6 days to work with each other. Okay.
Before I go and have cataract surgery, you mean?
I would. If I were you, I would sit on the plane tomorrow and come here. By the way, I'm also going to Canada, to Quebec, but that's.
But I can't fly to the States without getting those COVID murder weapons. So I don't
No, but you can
travel.
fly to Quebec, and I'm going to be in Quebec.
Oh, you are? When?
I'm going to be in
Okay,
Quebec next week.
Oh, okay.
So
And
you can
then,
definitely contact us, call us, and make with me
Okay.
5 appointments in Quebec.
5
Okay.
appointments. Okay, thank you so much.
Quebec City,
Thank
yeah.
you.
You don't have
That'd
to
be great.
speak French because I don't either.
Okay,
My-
thank you
my
so
I live
much.
in Quebec as well. I live in Quebec if you.
Oh, good. You in Quebec, so you can
Oh.
definitely be in touch with Jean, who is arranging my work in Quebec. And you can, I can give you a number.
Yes.
418,
Yep.
is it 624-8269?
826. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey
I
Siri,
think your work is marvelous. Oh, one other question. I wish you had some large print books.
I can open again. 418-264-8269.
418-264. Say that again, please.
264-8269. You can give her a call and make appointments for me.
I put it in the
Okay.
chat, folks.
Okay, thanks.
Alyssa,
Thanks so much.
Alyssa.
Okay, I've worn glasses since I was 7 years old, and I wouldn't mind continuing to wear glasses. I just want to preserve the vision I have and not get any worse. So because it's very expensive to get new lenses, so like if you improve your prescription a great deal, then you're going to be spending a fortune on eyeglasses as you are improving. And that I mean, who can afford that? That's one question. And then could you talk about astigmatism and how, like, particular exercises that address that? And then I'm watching you, and on one side of your head, you have wrinkles and your eye is higher. And is that from I was wondering what your situation is with the other side. Let's see what.
Well, my vision is better in my right eye.
Uh-huh.
And not as good in my left eye. But my vision used to be 1%, and now it's 70% of normal vision.
Yes, I know.
So yeah, so light definitely bothers me. So it does exactly this thing. But the moment I don't have light, my eyes are much more straight, basically.
Okay, so that what's going on your head with your vision, that you're raising your left eyebrow.
Yeah, down. So that is out of strain of dealing with the light from one side.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then could you talk about astigmatism? And then what about the issue of many having to go through many different lenses?
Okay, first of all, I'm very much against progressive lenses. They're the most expensive one, but
Yeah.
they cause peripheral loss because when you look straight, then your periphery is lost below. I mean, that is when you look far.
That's
When you
what
look in the
have.
middle, it's in the middle, and then you block your periphery above and below. When you read, you block your periphery above. Blocking your periphery is very, very bad for your eyes. So that's number one. Okay. Number two.
So what do you suggest then?
I suggest glasses from near and from far, not glasses, not progressive lenses, and I'm against bifocals as well. So that's number one for me to tell you. Number two, what I want to tell you is that it's always good to not overcorrect your eyes. So it's always good to even correct it to 95% of 100%, but not 100% because we all have overcorrections. You go to the best example I have is that, you know, my daughter was born with cataracts, just like my son. And she used to have a very nice optometrist that she was used to. And then she went and she had a very nervous optometrist in the hospital. Before we went to the doctor, we went to the optometrist. And she saw so much worse with the optometrist. And her vision, instead of being 98%, became something like 20%. Then we went to the doctor, and I've done with her eye exercise. I got her to patch her strong left eye and look at beautiful things below. We were in the 5th floor, and she started to see better. And she went to the doctor, and her ophthalmologist knew her from her second day of her life. So it was like an uncle. And as he tested her, her vision became much, much better. And first time in her life, at the age of 10, she saw 20/20 or 100% with glasses. And she was able to then reduce her glasses, which she reduced even further. By the way, just recently, she got her driver's license. So what I want to say is that it's so important that you have a little bit less correction than you exactly need, and that you will work with glasses from near and from far, and that you do eye exercises and take them off if you don't strain to look. Okay, next person.
Before we go to Terry, I want to make sure I've got Jean's telephone number correct. So it's 418, what was it?
264-8269.
Okay, I wrote it down wrong. Peter has written it down correctly.
Can I ask you,
On to Terry.
please?
Hi, I just have a question about blepharitis. I have blepharitis and it's gotten worse. And I've had, since the summer, I've had antibiotic drops. I've had steroid drops. I took steroids, and at this point, my eyes have rejected everything. I was just wondering.
First of all, do yourself a favor and don't take steroids ever again, because they lead to glaucoma and cataract. You don't need that, right? Blepharitis is much less than those problems. So the other thing is, the best thing I believe in is cold and hot towels. Just do it 10 times a day. You lie down, you put a cold towel and a warm towel, a cold towel and a warm towel. And that's going to help you to a great extent to get rid of this infection, basically. That's what it is.
Okay.
The thing that kills the blepharitis is your white blood cells in your lymph. That's the best thing. Okay, next person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know who's the next person?
The next person is Andre.
Thank you. I'm from Brazil, and I was.
Como vai, senhor?
Oh, you speak very well Portuguese, hein?
Eu falo um pouco. Entendo mais,
Very
mas
nice.
falo um pouco. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm a 66 years old. I'm a medical doctor, and I was recently diagnosed with epiretinal membrane in my left eye, and also a bad cataract in this eye. In my right eye, I can see with correction, okay, And my question is, in which extent we can expect some improvement in this membrane with your program?
We can expect a lot of improvement in the membrane. What you need is much more circulation, and you need better use of the retina. I would suggest you work with a practitioner in Brazil. I have wonderful practitioners there. You can be in touch with our office. We can give you some names. Do you know any of my practitioners in Brazil?
No.
There is one by the name of Sonia. Which state are you in?
Can you put in the chat or maybe?
Yeah. So Sonia Carusini we can put, and Fernanda Leche we can put, and so you can be in touch. Which state are you in?
In Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro. Okay. I have wonderful people there. Marcia McKenzie, Ney Chavez, and we have several. We have Katia. We have several people. Monique, several people who do my work in Rio de Janeiro that you can be in touch with.
Thank you very much. And how I can contact them?
Yeah, you can contact them. There's somebody by the name of Andrea Sula that we can send you her number, and you can be in touch with Andrea Sula. She lives in the States, but she has the names of all the practitioners in Brazil, and you can definitely get people in Rio de Janeiro. And if you ever want to come to San Francisco, I'll be glad to work with you. It will take us about 2 weeks of work. Okay? All right.
Victoria.
Victoria.
Hi, thank you. I have fairly stubborn strabismus, so my right eye does all the work, and it's the one with a bit of cataract. The left one's off taking a holiday a lot of the time. So I was wondering, when you're doing the looking in the distance, and when you're doing the swing and the skying and stuff, because my left eye is just off having a holiday, should I do one eye at a time, like cover one eye? And
you do. Here's what you can do: one eye at a time. Nothing wrong with that. It's great. But you can do another thing. So your left eye is the one that takes the holiday, or the right? Yes. The left eye, right?
Yes. As my cousin said, one eye's looking at me, the other one's looking for me.
I have a better one. Strabismus is when you have one beautiful eye and the other is looking at it.
That's better.
Anyway, so I put this masking tape here. Now I basically, you can see the eye even gets straighter for that. I'm waving to the side of the strong eye, and I'm looking with the weaker eye. The other way of doing it is that I am putting these glasses, but that's more for the outdoors. Okay. And often I put these glasses on and I will throw and catch the ball. So there are many other exercises. If I would work with you, we do a lot of exercise with red and green glasses. When one eye sees one color, the other eye sees another color, and get them to work together. So there's a lot we can do for strabismus.
Okay, and I was doing vision therapy, and then they stopped with COVID, and then somebody else started using the room, so they're still not doing it. I have a set of red and green. Does the green go on the red goes on the dominant eye?
The red goes on the dominant eye when you look at red print, but when we put light under red circle, then we put the red over the weaker eye in order for the brain to look at the light. So that's all described in my book, Vision for Life. Where do you live?
I'm in Toronto.
In Toronto. So
yeah.
I don't know how far for you is Quebec. I know that on the way to Quebec, I often stop in Toronto.
Well, let me know. Quebec's not an option for me this time around.
But we can do some Zoom sessions, by the way.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. And I think I probably need the glasses from you, because the ones I have arms, so they're not reversible. And I did work with the chart with the letters with the squares and the different colors, the red and the whatever it is.
Right. We first of all, relaxation is number one for strabismus. You have to relax real deep, and then the exercises work much better.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. Judy,
Yes, I just would like to know, for eyes that are dry, do you recommend drops?
I don't like them because the more you take them, the less you produce your own tears, right? And it's
Okay,
sometimes to ask from patients to be disciplined and to not take drops. But the exercise we do, and you can get it in my book, Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing and Vision for Life, is a lot of middle back release. As you release the middle back, especially if you do it in a dark room, I have a very nice dark room, which is almost like a studio of itself in my own home that I exercised in even today. And it brings tears to my eyes, and those tears feel so good, you know. So
okay,
you could definitely improve your tearing with middle back release. And I can see just looking at your posture that your chest is tight and the middle back is tight. It's going to be good for your
yes,
heart, for your neck, and for your eyes. So work with my book, Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing. We also have some wonderful workshops online. And again, I recommend people to come and see me individually, whomever can. Okay.
I live in Toronto, come for Passover.
Unfortunately, I'm going for Pesach to my partner in Quebec City. And
We'll have a great time. Hag Sameach.
Chag Sameach Lach. And they couldn't even get Pesach food there. So the rabbi from Quebec had to go to Montreal to get that. But I'll have all the
Okay.
stuff I need for Pesach, and I'll go with her for the Seder. So
I'm going to get your book, Awakening. I read your very first book from when you were young,
yes, when I had hair, yeah.
when you had hair, yes. Thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
Thank
has
you.
everybody who had their hands up had all their questions answered before I go to the questions in the chat? Anybody who had their hands up have any further questions?
There is
I
one
do.
more question out there.
Okay,
I do.
okay. go
I
ahead.
do too. I do.
Okay. Well, we'll do iPhone first. We'll go back to iPhone.
Okay, I have to unmute. Okay, I have a question. Thank you so much, by the way. You know about the cataract surgery, the thing about, you said, Meir, and thank you so much for this what you're doing. It's fabulous work. I love your books. I've got them all that you mentioned. I heard from an Indigenous woman that, and someone else, that if you have a cataract lens put in, it's petroleum and it melts in a heat lodge. And I'm wondering what you know about that.
I
'Cause
don't
it is
think it melts.
petroleum.
I don't think it melts. I don't like it. You know, if the medical profession would believe in my work, they would do surgery without putting an implant, and people would improve just doing eye exercises. But that is against the concept. They will not do that. In the case of my kids, by the way, they don't have an intraocular lens. They wear glasses instead, but they don't put the glasses all the time. And the vision is amazing. I remember my daughter, to pass the DMV test, walked, and she in fact took some ride with skateboards, walked her dog, and then ride with skateboard without glasses. And then with her glasses, she saw very well the board at the DMV, you know, which I'm very proud of.
Wow.
Because she was supposed
That's beautiful.
But the point is, the medical profession doesn't really understand that there is physical therapy for the eye and for the brain. That's what I'm teaching. That's why I'm promoting my class, because I want some people to come and learn how to do that, how to do physiotherapy for the eye and for the brain. And
well, yeah.
So the point is, we don't have cooperation. But if you need a cataract surgery, for me, if you can get me a chart, I will show what I can have a chart here. I have a chart with animals. Yeah, good. You know, for the doctors, if you cannot see this line from 20 feet, they already want you to do cataract surgery. I'm different. I say, if you still see this line, don't do the surgery, and let's work. And often people start to see this line when we finish. So the point is that they have a low bar of when you need the surgery. I have a high bar. Now, of course, we had a nice lady who had one eye completely blocked. Then we have to do the surgery. But I'm very conservative in doing the surgery. I know all the side effects that could be there. Melting lens is not one of them, but you could have glaucoma, you could have retinal detachment, you can have bleeding in the retina. All this can happen. And even if it doesn't happen, many people have a hard time getting the two eyes to look without double vision. And I worked with that a lot. But I would say you have to see how well you see to decide whether you need a surgery. And sometimes it's a little bit less sight than what a doctor wants you to have before he tells you to do the surgery.
Well, thank you for that. Well, one of the things is that about the reason they put in the petroleum lens is it's all money. It's a business. And the second thing that concerns me is the last ophthalmologist I went to, who's one of the most renowned in Vancouver, called Dr. Holland. Because I said I will not use those drops, the steroid drops, all the different drops, I'm allergic to them. I get blepharitis, or I get my eyes infect for 2 weeks if I use them. And I don't believe in them. I've researched them and it says they change your eyes permanently. But because I told the doctor I have these allergies to those and to drugs, I don't even take an aspirin ever. I avoid all pharmaceuticals.
Me neither, by the way.
Because, oh, good for you. I thought so. And then because of that, this doctor, this ophthalmologist, because he has no patience, just money, 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 patient after patient. He said, in that case, I have to have my cataract done in the operating room. I said, absolutely not. That's for life and death situation. And I have a bundle branch block, so I
Find another ophthalmologist. Doesn't matter how his reputation is, just find another one. That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
It's your eyes, so get the lens you believe in. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Victoria.
Thank you.
Victoria.
Hi, Meir.
Wait, who did you say? Me?
Victoria, that's you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey.
I don't know if this is something that you would cover. I'm a veterinarian and I do mostly alternative medicine. So a lot of dogs have cataract, they have glaucoma, they have dry eye issues. Would a lot of this apply to them? For example, the mid-thoracic massage or even chiropractic adjustment?
Absolutely. The more you bring blood to the head, we raise them. They get diseases similar to ours. Yeah. So a lot of massage on them can make a huge difference.
Okay. And anything like if they tolerate it, like the hot and cold cloths and
Absolutely. I would do it if I were you.
Okay. Hard to get them to do the other exercises.
Well, you don't, but you try to find the principles behind the exercises and do it with them. For example, I never worked with dogs this way, but if an infant needs to do sunning, I get the parent to hold the infant and to move them from side to side against the sun. They can do it that way. So since if you're going to come and study some of my classes, you probably will learn how to interpret that to your animals.
Right. Oh, so now that you've got two of us in Toronto, at least listening, and so there's more reason to come to Toronto.
I would love to. I was in the 90s in Toronto, and I had one of the biggest class I ever had. I had something like 85 people in that class, and 250 people who heard me in a lecture. So I really did very well in Toronto in the 90s, but I haven't been in Toronto since then. I didn't have anyone who would promote a class for me. So we need to get somebody who would want to create a workshop for me, and I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to read the questions in the chat. If anyone has any questions.
There was one person out that didn't get a chance to ask a question.
I don't see their hand up. So if that person wishes to speak, turn on your mic and speak.
It's me, it's Jane. I had my hand
No,
up.
Me
no,
too.
I'm sorry.
After her.
This gentleman would like to continue with this question. We got dropped. I apologize. That's why the hand was lowered. It's a quick question. So I'm 62-year-old male, and I've had recent occurrence of floaters, first in the left eye, and now more recently in the right eye. And since we hadn't touched on that topic today, I was wondering if you could offer any insights there.
Yeah, there's definite insight you can have in my book. I mean, the floaters, there are several reasons for floaters. The ones you're talking about, the way that I work with them is, for example, let's say I have floaters in my left eye. I had once because mistakenly I lifted a suitcase and mistakenly my thumb went into my left eye, and then I had floaters. So I would look at the floater, it will go away, then I would look at the sky, and then back at the floater. What happens is the vitreous gel collides against the floater and breaks it into pieces. Because no, truth of the matter is, everybody has floaters. We just don't see them. They're very small, but they start to unite as the vitreous becomes more watery and a little bit less viscous. And then we see them. There's also floaters, of course, for other reasons. One of them is vitreous detachment, bleeding in the retina, and of course, retinal detachment. If somebody wakes up and all of a sudden has 500 floaters, immediately go to a retinal specialist to rule out a retinal detachment and if it needs to reattach. But those kind of floaters you're talking about are definitely manageable. You can definitely destroy them by looking at one of them at a time. It will go away within a few seconds and then it comes back. So you look at the floater, look at the sky, it comes back. Look at the floater, look at the sky, it comes back. And slowly, slowly you get rid of the floater.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The only hand that is up is iPhone. If there's anyone else who's turning your
My
mic.
hand is up and
Yeah,
my hand is up
I
and
got a
Jane is
question.
up too.
I
I got a
only have one
question.
phone. There's nothing else up. So turn on your mic and
I have one more quick question.
I have a question too, and I've had
Go
my
for
hand
it.
up a few times. Can I ask it? It's Jane.
Please,
Me
please.
too. I'll wait
Thank
until
you.
Jane is done.
Thank you. Hi, Meir. I've been following you for a year, and I used to diligently do your stuff, but I reached a roadblock where I'm working a lot now.
I don't hear you. What happened?
She muted.
You muted yourself. Unmute yourself.
Can I go ahead while we're waiting for her?
There she goes.
Go
Jane,
for it.
Jane. She's
Oh,
back.
is she back?
Yeah.
My question is quick. My question is quick. I have macular degeneration, high myopia. In the left eye, I have flashes, not very severe. I can see, I can read up close, but that's a special name. I put it in the chat. Is there anything for that you can recommend? The flashes?
Well, quite a few things. First of all, look at the distance a lot because you read a lot, so look at the distance a lot. I had a guy who had a terrible macular degeneration. The doctors did laser surgery with him, and thank God they don't do it anymore. They just do these days injections. And he saw 8 images of everything. And I worked with him, and I taught him to look at the distance a lot. And he was a pharmacist, so most of his life he was prescribing, he was seeing prescription and medicine bottles. He looked at the distance for 2 hours a day, and I worked on him on his hunchback. He had a hunchback, so he didn't have enough blood to the head. And we were able, with a wonderful exercise, to loosen up his middle back, and his vision became from 4%, 95% of normal vision, 20/25. So
So do you,
definitely can work on it.
do you think I'll get rid of the flashes with time?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you so much.
The lady
Okay.
who's still muted, is she unmuted so she can ask?
Hi, sorry, my reception is not so good. It's Jane. Okay, so here's my last chance. So Meir, I've been following you for a year, and I've been doing all your exercise diligently. And the good news is I stopped wearing glasses in the house, except for when I'm driving or watching a movie. But with work changes and stuff, I've reached a roadblock where I'm not doing all the exercises anymore. And I have myopia. So I have -3 in one and -6 in the other. And because of the time restraints, I was wondering if you have any suggestions or inspiration in regards to what should I do to
So first of all, use every dead moment to do something with your eyes. So let's say you stand in a queue, and so then you look at the distance. You have to wait for someone, so then do palming. you can take a break from the computer for 30 seconds, then do the long swing. Don't waste a minute. That's one thing. The other thing is, come to my class. Spend 5 days with me. You'll see much better. And from there, you'll be inspired to continue.
Okay, thank you. And I love your work.
Thank you so much.
Guys, this really works. I have to say that because I would wear sunglasses and I would always close my eyes in front of the sun. And now I love the sun. And I'm able to adapt to the sun because of you, Meir. And I do believe the sun is very healing. So thank you.
And your face is very radiating. It's nice to see. Okay. So,
Can I ask one more quick question?
We have to move on because we
Really
have
short?
only
Okay.
few minutes left. You
How
can
about
call me.
Eric? He's got his hand
Okay,
up.
I'll call you. I'll call you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have to finish with the questions. I have to do palming. So I want all of you to wash your hands. I'm going to go myself and wash my hands. And we will do palming for a few minutes. That's to rest from the computer. So I hope that all of you wash your hands because you must wash your hands before you do palming. Let's loosen up our shoulders, move them in rotating motion in both directions. Interlace your fingers and move your arms in rotating motion in both directions. Breathe deeply and slowly and stretch your hands and move them in rotating motion in both directions. Rub your hands. Okay. And we'll turn all the lights off. Now, here is why I'm sorry I'm not around you. I want you to know that you have to touch your eyeball, your cheekbones very gently. Okay, stand up for a second, Kyle. I just want to show you how gently I'm touching Kyle. Take your glasses off. This gentle, very, very gently. You never put pressure on your cheekbones. Okay, I have a palming stick, which by the way, you can order from us because it has different sizes, but please put pillows on the table so you don't bend your head, you don't straighten your head, and put your hands around the eye orbits and breathe deeply and slowly. And feel your abdomen expanding when you breathe in and shrinking when you breathe out. And you can visualize that you're seeing darkness, maybe even blackness. And you make sure that you never ever put pressure on the cheekbones. Never ever. That you touch it very gently. The minimum amount of time we can do palming is 6 minutes. I mean, we can do it for 15 seconds, but 6 minutes is when palming really works. Because that's exactly when you basically vacate all the chemicals from your retina that you don't need. And from the brain. So you breathe deeply and slowly. Feel how your abdomen and lower back are expanding as you inhale and shrinking as you exhale. Feel how your ribs and chest expand when you breathe in and shrink when you breathe out. Visualize that your head expands as you inhale and shrinks when you exhale. Visualize that your pelvis, your thighs, your knees, your calves, and your feet expand when you breathe in and shrink when you breathe out. And breathe in and out. And make sure your jaw is loose. And so you can exhale all the way and move the abdomen forwards and backwards. Inhale all the way and move the abdomen forwards and backwards. Exhale and visualize you see darkness. Visualize that what you see is pitch black in front of you. And breathe deeply and slowly. Blackness means no color, no light. Again, never put pressure on your cheekbones. That's why we relax the shoulders first. No pressure on the cheekbones. And that's the hardest thing, actually. To not press is harder than to press. Again, visualize that your head expands when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. And we can listen to podcasts, we can listen to music. I'm listening to my favorite podcast every day, Palming. And I have many podcasts, and my book, Movement for Self-Healing, has so many beautiful stories and real stories about people who improve, that listening to that could be a big thing. And we have it on Audible and on CDs, as well as, of course, on soft cover. So you breathe deeply in and out. And I'll play some music for you. Alexa, play What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
Sure. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong from Spotify.
Alexa, louder. Alexa, louder. Alexa, louder.
To myself, what a wonderful something. Stay, dark, stay night. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. Stir the faces of people going by. See.
And I wonder to myself, what a wonderful. I think to myself, what a wonderful. Okay, slowly take the hands off, blink gently, and I just want to say that I really enjoyed answering the questions. You can call our phone number at 415-665-9574, and you can write it on the chat, right? The phone number, and we can talk if we didn't resolve some things together. This is time to finish, and I thank very much the Institute of Silicon Valley, the Holistic Health Institute of Silicon Valley. I was their guest when they had people in person. I'm happy to be their guest right now. And I would like to thank all of you for coming. And again, come to my class. I want to see as many of you as possible. Thanks.
What is your telephone number again?
415-665-9574.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you all.
Back on April 18th at 11 in the morning.
Thank you again.
California
Thank
time.
you.
Thanks.
He'll be back. Okay, he's gone. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll sign off.
I have a quick question that maybe he could answer another time.
Well,
The exercise-
yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody. Only hand I could see was iPhone, and she kept having other questions, but I couldn't see anyone else on the list here.
I can answer to her question.
Okay, go ahead, answer the question.
For the floater, in fact, you don't do that for a long time. You cover one eye and you are walking outside with just seeing with one eye, and you look at the floater, and when it disappears, you start again to look and follow it, and you continue that for a few minutes. That's it, and you can do that each day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If anyone else has any further questions, it looks like we've got an expert here, so feel free to ask.
Andrea, could you put any email contact for contacting where?
You can write office manager at self-healing.org. It is me. I will answer, and it is the School of Meir.
Can you put it on the chat, please?
I cannot, but
tell me what to write, and I'll write it in the chat.
Office manager in one word.
Manager. Okay, yes.
At self-healing, SELF.
My computer's doing funny things. It's doing everything in capitals. Okay. Office manager at
self-healing.
Is there, it's one word or a dash?
With a hyphen in the middle.
With a hyphen in the middle. Okay. Yeah.
Selfhealing.org. O-R-G.
Okay.
So in same time, I will
office
submit
manager at self-healing.org.
Yeah, and I can submit your question to Meir anyway.
Okay, because there's a lot of, I can send you a copy. There's a lot of questions in the chat that I never got around to.
Okay. Perfect. You can send them to us.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah,
I
we
have a
plan to have
question.
these as often as Meir wants to, so he's got a vehicle to get his word out to the public.
I have a question about palming.
Go for it.
Do you close your eyes or do you leave them open?
You close your eyes.
You close your eyes?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That was
Thank
the
you.
first question I was going to ask.
Question about palming too. Very quick. Yeah, I'm doing this exercise for a short time, né? But I knew today I got the impression that we could make contact with the bow eyes with the hands. Is that correct? Because I was doing in a different way. I was not putting the palm in contact with the.
You don't put your hands, you don't have a real contact with your bulbs and your eyelids. You are with a distance. It's the energy of the hands who come to your eyes. That comes to your eyes. Yeah.
Are you open to answering all the unanswered questions in the chat? If I can go back and find where they were. Let's see. I was holding on to them. Oh no, they were way back here. Okay, let's see if we can find where they start. Okay, here it is. Okay, you answered the questions about eyes opened or closed. Should the left palm be over the right or vice versa when palming?
Is the right on the right and the left on the left eye? I
Is
don't
that-
understand the question.
Well, I guess she wants to know if you put the, do you put just the right on the right and the left hand on the left? Is that, I guess, must be the question.
Yes.
Are there any specific exercises that are good to correct myopia or short-sightedness?
We had a lot of exercise to correct myopia, so you can go on YouTube or you can go on our website. You will see, for example, a video that you can buy about myopia. Or you can look at Vision for Life. You will have a lot of exercise about myopia too.
And I assume the answer is the same for astigmatisms.
It is the same. We have another video which is about nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism.
One person asked that they've been taking Dr. Christopher's remedies for cataracts, including the drops in the eyes. She just wants reassurance that she's doing it right.
The doctor drops?
Dr. Christopher.
I don't know the Dr. Christopher.
Okay.
Maybe she can write to me here. We will see.
Okay, so that's for Carol. Louise says she was diagnosed with a thin optic nerve and glaucoma. How can you strengthen the optic nerve?
With all the principle of with which you work with glaucoma, but I suggest to you to write to us and we will answer you more in detail.
Okay. Are LED lights bad for the eyes?
Can you repeat the question?
Are LED lights bad for the eyes?
They're supposed to be. It depends how long you are living with it, and we are not expert with that.
Okay. The exercises, are they good for helping with the vitreous detachment process? She's been with it for about a year.
It helps everything in the visual system.
Somebody comments that her 5-year-old grandchild was diagnosed with Duane syndrome in her left eye. The ophthalmologist said it could not be treated. What would you recommend?
Write to me in this case.
Dorianne adds the comment, if you yawn more, you'll get more watering in your eyes. Then there's a question about normal pressure glaucoma. I assume for now they go and look at your website for more information.
Yeah, the normal is more until 20 normally.
Somebody's asking for, oh, dang it, those are mine. Let me, okay. Somebody's asking about a good ophthalmologist in the San Francisco or Bay Area, south of the airport.
I know that Meir liked a lot Dr. August Reeder, for example, and he loves Dr. Hoyt, Craig Hoyt. Okay. I think Dr. Hoyt is not completely retired, but probably work less than before. So
if Louise is still on the
maybe knows more.
Spell that or contact them, chime up. Okay. Are online glasses less, that are less expensive? What is the quality?
What is the question?
Online glasses, you get them on the computer, is the quality any worse?
Online glasses?
You get them online, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Question about photoopsias for people who have macular degeneration. That person's looking for help.
Macular degeneration, Meir can help her a lot.
References for people in Houston, Texas.
In Texas, we don't have practitioner in Texas. We have, yes, we have one. We have Melissa Moody in Texas.
Okay, if this.
So you can write to the school, we will send you the information about her.
Okay, Hannah asked about eye drops like timolol maleate for normal pressure glaucoma to bring the pressure below normal as a long-term treatment.
Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
There's a question about using daily eye drops like timolol maleate for normal pressure glaucoma to bring the pressure below normal as a long-term approach to stabilization.
Meir suggests to people to add the exercise and to eventually have less drop. He prefer when people didn't start the drops and go directly to exercise. You can contact him.
Can you recommend somebody in New York City?
We don't have any practitioner in New York City anymore. I am the nearest one in Quebec City.
Okay.
Canada.
Thank you for being here. Have you been able to remove optic drusen causing pseudo-papilledema?
Meir is working with people who had drusen, so you can contact the school too.
What do you think about a doctor that's going to prescribe eye drops for glaucoma?
Meir prefer to start with eye exercise first.
Okay.
But if people start with that, he add the exercise, and eventually he suggests in general to people to buy a tonometer and check to be sure how is your ocular intraocular pressure, and after that be able to diminish a little bit by little bit, because they are addictive.
Okay, I won't ask Alyssa's question because she already spoke and she'll see him on April 15th. Okay. And then you want to know, is your approach similar to visual therapy?
I don't know. It depends on which visual therapy.
Okay, then somebody wants to know the best way to schedule a 2-week stay with Meir. I guess the telephone number or, through the website would be that.
Yeah, you have to contact the school to be sure that Meir will be in United States at this moment. But you can easily, and we have a list of hotels near the school and a list of rooms in people's house too.
How many times and how long do you do the floater motion?
As I was telling you, you can walk during 5 minutes, and each time that you see the floater come, you follow it with your eyes and you continue to walk. And after that, when you come back, you follow it again. So more you are doing that often, less you have floaters.
Okay.
And you start to work all the time on just one at a time. When this one disappears, you are working on another one.
And somebody's asking what can be done for macular degeneration. I guess that you can find out more on the
There
website.
is a lot of things described in the book Vision for Life.
Yeah.
And the best is to contact me here and have a private consultation with him.
Okay. Okay. And can you improve your vision after cataract surgery? This person needs to wear progressive lenses now because with fixed lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Meir suggests to wait at least 1 month and sometime a little bit more. And after that, start the work with him. Start the exercise.
Then somebody asked, what about San Amplio Mook homeopathic eye drops? Are those good to use? And somebody
I
responds-
don't know. I don't know what it is.
somebody recommends taking carnosine eye drops or something.
Okay.
Let's see.
It is a question for me.
Okay. Then I'm getting lots of thank yous and how wonderful it was. So is there anything else you would like to add or more information on how they can get okay. So you're office manager at selfhealing.org. That's written in the
Exactly.
chat.
Exactly. And I will submit the question to me. Yeah.
Now, Ron has a question. A small scar on the right eye, which is causing double long distant visions. How does one treat this?
We are working a lot with diplopia. So when people have double vision, it is several exercise. So sometimes for that, it is a special work.
Now, Andre, wants to get more specific information on the practitioners he recommended in Brazil because it went pretty quickly. And
we have so many practitioners in Brazil. You can contact Andrea Sula. You can write to the school and we will give her information. She have all the lists of the different practitioners, but you have Fernanda Ribeiro, you have Sonia Corricini, you have Beatriz Nascimento, and you have a lot of very excellent practitioners in Brazil.
Does anyone have any questions now that we've got an expert on the line?
I'm his assistant. Practicing
you
is
sound like
not
so he's coming back April 18th at 11 o'clock in the morning, California.
Thank you very, very, very much, Susan.
Also, you can go to our website and sign up there to be on the list, or you can just go to the website. And if you ask any questions, they'll come directly to me. Our goal is to get information out to the public on optimal health. And so, I'd like it to be a forum so people can ask questions. So, anyway, I want to thank Meir. Thank you. And, everybody, it was wonderful. I'm going to post this on our website, which is again, www.svhi.com. And we plan to do this as often as Meir wants. So eventually you'll all get your individual questions addressed to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I just follow up with my question? So I had a cataract surgery on 2005. And I've had a progressive since then. So because they couldn't 100% correct it. And then also because of, I need to see closely. So because the lenses are fixed, so they don't adapt. So progressives for near vision and then to correct a little bit more far vision and correct astigmatism, which could all not be 100% corrected.
Even with the implant, you can do the exercise and improve the astigmatism, improve the vision from distance, improve the vision from near too.
Even with the artificial lens in there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.